Hey everybody, it's Andrew again, your average jeweler. We're back with something a little bit different today. Haven't done anything quite like this before, and that is to take a number of common silver cleaning products and do a little comparison, have a little test. And I myself have used many of these, more specifically the ones that are actually made for removing tarnish, but I decided to throw in a few others that seem to be common household remedies for cleaning tarnish and see what happened. Now, a quick little side note, I will say I've seen a lot of people using like boiling water and baking soda and the like and having that chemical reaction. A little bit dangerous if there are any stones involved, and we're not going to get into that today. We're just going to use some quick dip solutions. Most of these are made so that you can dip them in for 10, maybe 20 seconds, and it's supposed to remove most of the tarnish. Again, this is not silver cleaning in the sense of removing dirt. This is mostly going to be trying to observe how much tarnish comes off quickly. So let's start on the right of what I have here. We have Ellanar. This is an instant dip here, specifically made for cleaning tarnish. We have Coca Cola. Most of you should be familiar with this, but a lot of people will use this for many home remedies. Windex, another familiar one, at least hopefully. And because of typically having ammonia in there, a lot of people will use this for a lot of cleaning solutions. And then we come over to this big bottle over here, and you can find this in smaller quantities, although this is more of a commercial cleaner. So we use this a lot around the store. If you want my before opinion, I think that that is typically one of the stronger cleaning solutions, but maybe you don't always need a concentrated cleaning solution. And then over here, we're actually going to mix together some dish soap and vinegar. That is something I've heard a lot of people swear by. And over here on the right, you have Haggerty Silver Clean. Haggerty makes a lot of silver cleaning products. Their silver dip being one that we've used around here. You'll see them in different packaging. So sometimes they actually make them specifically for flatware. You'll see them for flatware and for silverware in taller containers. I've seen other sizes over the years, but Haggerty's is something that's been around for quite a while. And I'm trying to keep these piles together in front so that we can have some means of identification. It can be a little bit difficult to find evenly tarnished pieces of jewelry to have a nice comparison, but I'm hoping that if we can keep these piles together here, we're going to have a pretty good sense of who's cleaning and how it is in a quick dip solution. I'll try and show you what I can when we get over to the sink, but realistically, it's going to be more of a looking at what we're dealing with beforehand and then seeing how they do afterwards. So let's get into it. All right, we're gonna try out some Coca Cola. So here we go. Seem to have done much for tarnish removal. Alright, and Windex. hard to tell how much it actually took off. Clean it exactly how I would hope or expect some of these to be cleaned. But maybe a little bit of tarnish removal there. Next up, we're going to try the Insta-Clean, again the more commercial type cleaner here. Pretty effective stuff. And we're going to try and mix together some dish soap and some white vinegar and see what happens. Last but not least, I'm gonna try and give Haggerty's Silver Clean a go, see what happens. This is another one of those official silver cleaners that we've had around the store for quite some time. A lot of jewelry stores carry it, so let's see what it looks like. Haggerty's, and it did a pretty good job. Keeping in mind areas that are meant to be permanently oxidized are going to be a lot harder intentionally to clean that oxidation out, which is why I did not purposefully oxidize everything, even though it may have given everything a pretty uniform tarnished look, but this did pretty well as far as Haggerty's go. Alright, so a few closing thoughts as I look over everything here. I would definitely say that your official silver cleaners did a much better job overall. I think that as I look over some of these pieces here, I think that possibly the more commercial stuff that we typically use works very well. This Ellanar, I think, worked very well. I did give it several what we call rhodium-plated pieces, which usually mitigates tarnishing to begin with, making it somewhat of an easier task on certain pieces, but something like this, being bare silver, very good job overall. I think you can probably see that pretty well. It was quite tarnished beforehand, so that's a good example of where the Ellanar did quite well. Coca Cola, I do believe it did something. It's really hard to tell exactly the difference. A piece like this here, you can see There's quite a bit of tarnish left behind, but I think it did clean a little bit up. And then as far as the Windex goes, this piece was quite black beforehand, and now it's dark gray, so something happened. This one here as well on the inside, I believe it was a bit darker beforehand. But looking at this spoon, no question about it, was very, very tarnished. Most of that tarnish all came off. It still needs a polishing, but tarnish removal, I would give that a solid A for something like this. And then moving on to the dish detergent and vinegar. I don't believe it did a whole lot, but again, I think it cleaned something up. It's hard to tell how much of it may have been just dirt that was on there as opposed to oxidation, but it did do something, just not nearly the degree that the actual cleaners do. And then getting over to Haggerty's. Haggerty's did a pretty consistent job. Some of these were quite tarnished. These little rings here, I believe, were quite tarnished. And you can actually see a much more uniform look after they're cleaned, so that's just a small sampling. Again, my conclusions are within the actual jewelry cleaners, they all do a pretty good job at quick dips. Possibly some of these others, if you left them in there for an extended period of time, would do something more, the Coke, the Windex, the vinegar, and soap. But for quick dipping, what these others are meant for, 10 to 20 seconds, you're getting a much, much better cleaning out of the official cleaning products. Your Ellanar, your InstaClean, and your Silver Clean. I'm going to try and put links below for things that can be linked so that you can easily find ones if you want to try them out for yourselves. But again, the actual cleaners certainly outperformed the home remedies, but among them, I don't know that there was a clear winner. I do feel like the more commercial cleaner does continue to do a fantastic job, and I even suspect the cleaner I was using may have been slightly diluted. I was using some that we had out already. So, hard to say. The bottom line is, very good at cleaning up tarnish. As always, use caution when you're cleaning things. I do have another video on properly cleaning jewelry, how to do it without damaging things, because there are a lot of different things that can happen, especially when there are stones involved or unknown metals. So check that out. I'll put a link in here as well for that. As always, I hope this was helpful. I hope you actually found some quality content. If you liked it, please like it. If you loved it, share it, subscribe. You know what to do, and we'll catch you next time.